Hello YouTube, welcome to my channel Annabella, and today I'm going to be reviewing Season 2 of His Dark Materials, Episode 1, The City of Magpies. Let's go! First thing of note is in Season 1, which is the Northern Lights, here, they actually incorporated rather a lot of the beginning of the subtle knife. So in Season 2, we're diving straight in with Will and Lyra meeting up straight away in the first episode in the City of Magpies, meeting some other girls there, and it's action, 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 even though a lot of it is quite domestic action. We've got stuff going on with the witches, we've got stuff going on with Mrs. Coulter, Lord Asriel, we'll get to him, we don't see him at all in the subtle knife. They were planning, because each season of His Dark Materials was going to have 8 episodes, and they were planning to do an episode with just Lord Asriel, but because of coronavirus they had to cancel it, so Season 2 of His Dark Materials will only have 7 episodes, which is quite cool, because it actually means that we will be sticking just to the subtle knife, possibly some little flecks of the amber spyglass, I suspect, thrown in, seeing as Lyra already knows that Mrs. Coulter and Lord Asriel are her parents. So going forward we are in a more enlightened place. It's going to be interesting. I'm liking the fact that purely by just having an older boy, Lyra already looks like a 13-year-old. She doesn't look like a little girl anymore. Roger's death is just going to hang over the whole trilogy, as everybody knows. It does. It's impactful and it will be there. There's no getting away from it. And I love the fact that we start with the grieving of Roger, because that is going to be continuous throughout the whole of this. I'm loving the fact that at the beginning of the series they had to do like a whole minute just to explain what's actually happening. It's going to get far more complicated. It really is not sort of for the under 9s at all, because it gets really, really complicated. It's fun to watch. I'm liking the use of CGI, the interaction, the chemistry between Will and Lyra is good. Going forward, I think we're on a very solid basis, but this is basically Will's story. When I originally read them, I read the subtle knife first, because it was easier to go in from our world, and then I read the Northern Lights afterwards. The Northern Lights very much is a children's fairy story, weirdly enough, but it's sort of the beginning of something else, and I'm liking the fact that in the first episode you can tell that the tone is shifting. And I'm liking the fact that you had that other girl say, oh, he's going to change and the spectres are going to get him, but you're just okay. But she was still a bit iffy about Lyra. And yeah, the whole trilogy is about puberty and going through this, and Adam and Eving and all sorts of different things. And we've got to investigate dust and sin and what it means to be human, and do we need God, and all sorts of other interesting things are going to come out. And we're going to, physics is going to be explored, and multiple universe theory. Oh, I love the credits for His Dark Materials because they are so on cue. The fact that you actually get a lot of information from them, which actually means that they can just crack on with the story, because these two aren't weighty tombs. Amber Spyglass is a weighty tomb, and it can be quite dry. But I'm loving the fact that they're pushing the action forward. Mrs. Coulter is already torturing witches and removing their inner essence in Season 1, so in Episode 1, sorry. So it's kind of cool that you've still got that creepy need for Lyra that's creeping in. I'm sad. What really kind of makes me a bit sad is, yes, the witches come through and Lee Scoresby has a place, but we don't see the Egyptians for some time, and you kind of lose that world as we go on this journey, and you feel the change in tone and the depth, and that I think will affect the story, because in your mind you're like, well, where's the armoured bears? And it's like we've moved on, and you have to grasp that really quickly, because we're going to go forward. We're on Will's story now, and this very much is Will's journey, this book. The first book is very much Lyra's journey, and then the Amber Spyglass is their journey together, and what they decide to do. It's a good intro. I liked it. It set everything up. We've got 6 more episodes to go. I'm gutted that we lost the Lord Asriel episode that they were going to do just to explain what he was doing during this, because Philip Pullman doesn't. But I'm kind of glad that we haven't got it, because I think it would just be more confusing, because we can find all that out in Amber Spyglass. I mean, if they can spend a whole minute doing a recap at the start of the first episode of the second season, I'm sure we can get like a little, meanwhile, Lord Asriel has been doing blah, 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 blah. And I'm sure that will be fine. Or we could have intermittent scenes. It's going to get complicated, because you've got Mrs. Coulter manipulating the magisterium quite beautifully. You've got the witches going off. You've got Lee Scoresby, and you've got Will and Lyra. So this is where we're going to get multiple perspectives of action happening all the time. So you've got to keep a lot of characters in your head. So bring out your Game of Thrones skills if you've seen it. Hope you've enjoyed this very short review. I'm going to give it, as an introduction episode, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5, because it wasn't punchy. But then again, you aren't expecting it to be punchy, because Roger has died. So Lyra's a bit deflated. And we spend like oodles of the episodes learning how to make omelettes. And will we or won't we use the alethiometer, and who is Will? Hope you've enjoyed this review. Please like, comment and subscribe, and see you next week. Bye!